No, I'm not getting married. I'm not. But the crazy thing is I dated this woman for a very long time after she left me that voicemail. And I'm sure you could tell from the passion and anger in her voice that this woman fucked really well. Amazing. It was so amazing. It raised questions. It raised one question. Well, how is she so good at this? So I did some research, which is ridiculous. And I came across this book called The Outliers. Anyone familiar? Malcolm Gladwell. All right. In this book, Malcolm Gladwell states, to master any skill, one must practice said skill for 10,000 hours. All right? 10,000 hours. Now, if you do the math, when you apply it to what I'm talking about, that breaks down to 40 hours a week for 5 years straight of my girl and dicks. And it's a lot to swallow. For me, not for her, that's why we loved her. She was generous. She was a good girl. It's tough. It's not hard for you ladies to be the master of our stuff. We could take it, put it anywhere. We just happy you're there. It's just one of those things. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm sorry, that just got thrown off there. She walked by. I'm sorry, that's totally dirty to say that. It's one of those things, men were really communicative. We'll see like, hey, look, things aren't working out, or we need a little something special. Let's do something when we need a safe word, or will you take my thing and put it here, or something very specific. But women don't always communicate these things, They'll let you go kind of meandering and stuff, One girl let me eat a pussy bad for 3 years, didn't tell me nothing. Thing is, she told everybody else. Told her sister, the hairdresser, the gay crew. I'm wondering why all her people are looking at me like I'm a failure in life. And there's also, I feel like I've had a series of girlfriends that only kind of have communicated with me. Like they would say something, but then the next part was just thought. It just went unsaid, like I love you, but not as much as my ex-boyfriend. Or our sex is great, but it's never quite long enough. Well, that is the best sex I've ever had with you. It's tough. I was about to say something. I got to say second show. It's about to get bad. Crazy. I've had a thing for bad women my whole life. I'll tell you about growing up. My father, he had his own business. He dressed sharp. He had a very loyal, talented group of devoted employees. My father was a pimp. And when I say a pimp, not like, oh, he got all the girls, but like he had the cowboy hat, the Lincoln Continental, the long pinky fingernail, the alligators, everything. I'm actually wearing gators too, but I'm not a pimp. But he's one of those guys. And when I was little, for some reason of all people, my father, he was like the biggest fan of Bring Your Kid to Work Day. It was just kind of interesting. Because we would go around collecting money from his employees, and I would meet these women and be out and wearing all kinds of crazy things, and they would just hug me and love me and stuff money in my pockets, and I knew then I was like, oh my God, there's something I want to do to you, but I don't know what it is yet. I was like 5, I was a little boy, but I was like, I felt fire in my stuff. And I know there's something, I don't know, I want to hug you really hard, or I don't know. And it's messed up because I realized because of all that stuff, I fell in love with sluts and whores, and I'm kind of doomed, man. You know, and the thing is, when you're a kid and you fall in love with these women, there's no real consequence to that. But you know, when you're 37 years old, and you know, you have only a desire to be with really rough women with a flexible and moral, moral and flexible, moral flexibility. That's not the best thing to invest in. I fucked my own joke up right there. I'm sorry. That happened. I'm so busy trying to not say things wrong, and I'm just like, ah! It's bad. And I'll tell you, it's funny. Growing up, you know, I'm half black, I'm half white. You know, I lived down south, and one of the first girls I tried to talk to was a white chick, mad redneckish. I don't know, I was just feeling that at the time. But she sat across from me in my English class, and she wore these really crazy tight jeans, you know. They were so, it was just insane. And she would sit with her legs spread wide open in front of me in English class. And like, you know, the jeans were so tight, I could see her stuff, you know, like the outline. And that whole class, I'll tell you, I don't know what happened in that class. I stared into this girl's stuff so long, it got to the point, I could see the heartbeat in this girl's pussy. And I had fantasies, boy, I knew if I ever got it, it'd taste like water, peaches, and clouds. It'd just be the best thing ever, you know? And then it came to the end of the school year, and I'm like, all right, the girl's name was Stephanie. I'm like, hey, Stephanie, I know I haven't spoken to you much because I've been too busy staring in your pussy, but will you go to the dance with me? And she was like, I ain't no nigger lover. Ooh, right? I'm like, God damn, soul crushing. And really, I was like, really, shit, you couldn't have just said no? Really? You had to break my spirits there, you know? And I wasn't looking for love, I just wanted the water, peaches, and clouds, you know? I didn't want love, I just wanted to be close, you know? And it took me a minute, I got over it, you know, and I moved back up north, met a black chick, long dreads, big, thick, bulbous ass. You know, you ever see somebody's body part make your teeth clench? You want it so bad? You're like, come on, just give me a shot, it'll be good for everybody. Come on, girl. Come on, please. Anyway, I'm talking to her, I'm like, hey, can I kick it with you? And she says, Perry, you smell like a white man. Like, both sides got me, boy, y'all fucking hell. You know, then I had to get a little racist. I was like, what's a white man smell like? Like what, smell like I got a good education, bitch? What? What? Because I do, I got a great education. Smell like I got a trust fund? I got no trust fund. I said, I don't have that smell. But it's like, you know, it's between, you know, the women I saw as a little boy and then the women I tried to talk to as a teenager that dissed me, that made me kind of an overcompensating, crazy sex monster. You know, it made me kind of try to make up for these things. You know, when I went to college, I just went crazy. I went wild, you know. I went to a mostly white school, and being the mixed guy with 1,000 18-year-old white girls, that worked out pretty good. I was the gateway. You know, they'd be with me, and then a week later, they'd be with the African exchange student. That was like my first mixed black thing, you know, which was cool, you know. And then I found out, you know, I found out what the internet can do. The internet pays lots of dividends. You know, I was on MySpace. My name on MySpace was the Vaginal Detonator. And girls would just add me all the time, like, what is this? What is this vaginal detonation about? I'm like, that's why you added me. You know what's going on. Come on. Stop it. Just stop it.